Hey everybody, so I just saw Richard Jewell, directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Paul Walter Hauser, Kathy Bates, Sam Rockwell, Olivia Wilde, and John Hamm. And I can confidently say that I think this movie is Clint Eastwood's best movie since Gran Torino. The one thing I want to say off the top from the crack of the bat, I do want to say that this movie is nice because it's actually finally colored correctly in a way that's actually pleasant to watch, where it doesn't look like everything's murky and muddy. It's really nice, and it's a nice touch for Eastwood to make a choice like this where you can actually see what's going on and enjoy what's going on screen. But getting into the nitty gritty of it, this movie across the board has great performances by all five of the main cast. I think John Hamm is the least, he does the worst job of the five, I will say that. Granted, he is hardly in the movie, but when he's on screen, it just seems a little off. Olivia Wilde, her character is this absolute monster of a woman. She has no not defining qualities. She has no redeeming qualities, and she's a monster throughout the entire film. But near the end, she has a character turn that just feels unwarranted and unearned for the character. You never get an emotional payoff for the character. She never apologizes to Richard Jewell for what she did, and in a way, it just seems a little off. No, Sam Rockwell is great as usual. He's awesome. And I think him and Kathy Bates have good chances to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor and Actresses at the Oscars. As for Paul Walter Hauser, I have not seen him in a lot of movies. I loved him in I, Tonya. He was great. And it's kind of the same character in this one. And he's good. He's there. It's a good performance. But in a year that's so dominated by other actors from other movies for lead actor nominations, I think, unfortunately, he will be left in the dust, and it kind of sucks, because I do like his portrayal of Richard Jewell in this movie. He's very, from what I know about Richard Jewell, he portrays that character very, very well. Now, the story itself, I think, is fantastic. I think it's told well in a very small, not a very big scale. And for a movie that was shot in, I think, just under 2 months, it comes across great. I think the script is done very well, being surprisingly funny and having very, very good emotional beats throughout it. And overall, I just think this is a very, very well done movie that in any other year, I think will be looked at higher when it comes to Oscars and award nominations. But in a year that's been so dominated by movies that are going to come in like Uncut Gems, and I can't think of any at this. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, movies like of that ilk, I think, will bury this movie more than it deserves to be. I think this movie is very, very well done. It's much better than anything Clint Eastwood has done in years. I think it's a fantastic movie. It's a movie that I think needed to be told, and I think the way that it's told and the way it's showed and portrayed, I think is done to its absolute best. 8.2 out of 10.